watching you. There's someone out there.
What's up, Mob Crew? I'm Chris, and today's missing person case is Don. Also, today's person of interest is Olivia. Today's missing person case is Courtney. Hello? Oh, nothing more creepier than a freaking shaft. Hello? What's up, everybody? Welcome to the stream. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you can hear me, please put a 1 in the chat. Before we get started, I just wanted to shout out Stephanie, Elizabeth, and Trina for your PayPal donations, as well as Shannon. So thank you guys so much. And I'm going to try to keep my phone with me for any donations that come in through PayPal, Venmo, and cashapp, so I can shout you guys out. Thank you guys so much for putting a 1 in the chat. Welcome, and thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day to watch my channel. I am Chris with Monsters Under the Bed. I cover murder, mystery, to the paranormal. And in all my cases, I like to show missing person posters. I do take requests. Sometimes they fill up, so I can't help everybody. I'm just one person. But if you have a family member or a friend that recently went missing and they need the exposure, you can email me, and I would be more than happy to feature them in an upcoming live show. So before we get into the show, let me just get into a couple of missing person cases here, and then we'll get into today's show. So sadly, it is the 1-year anniversary for Daniel Robinson. He was last seen a year ago driving a blue 2017 Jeep Renegade away from his job site near Sun Valley Parkway in Buckeye, Arizona, heading west. His cell phone pinged, but no location data was available due to the phone being off or out of range. Area searches have been conducted, but neither Daniel's vehicle nor cell phone has been found. Now, this is kind of old, but his vehicle has been recovered, and it seemed like there's been some shady stuff with his vehicle because it was flipped upside down. It looked like it had been started. I can't remember how many times, but somebody tried to start it at least over like 40 times or something like that. And they feel like it had been driven a little bit more. So, such a bizarre case. His father, David, has been out there almost since day one, searching for him. What an amazing father. And I would say he's kind of inspired me to do what I'm doing and trying to go out there and actually conduct searches. So, my heart and prayers go out to the family of the Robinsons. So also another, we've got Michael McKinney, last seen on the 22nd of May in Hamilton. His car was located in Houston Woods on the 25th with his cell phone and other personal items. And it says he's 5'8", 140 pounds, 2 full sleeves of tattoos, so it's pretty noticeable. Short brown hair and a red beard. So they got the phone numbers here. This is in Ohio, Hamilton, Ohio. So if anybody's out there, just keep a lookout for him. I just got a donation. Let me go back there. Thank you so much, Michelle. Sorry, let me pull that down. Thank you so much, Michelle, for your $5 donation. That helps us out. Thank you so much. Okay, and this is Aidan Clune. He was seen on the 27th of April of this year, 50 miles south of Wells in Nevada. 19 years old, brown hair, brown eyes. Apparently, they say he was experiencing some mental health crisis, possibly triggered by medication change. He left his vehicle and was tracked to have walked about 10 miles until they lost his tracks. He was wearing black high-top Nikes, possibly a gray sweatshirt, and a black North Face coat. So, thank you so much, Melissa S., for becoming a member. Thank you so much. Okay, so, as you guys, most of you know, I have been going out there. Let me pull up this thing here. So this is Dylan Rounds. Most of you know, we've been going out. Second time now, we went out there to search for him with drone and boots on the ground. We just went out last Tuesday for the second time. Came back with about twice as much footage as the first time, since the wind wasn't as bad. The weather was really nice. Wasn't too hot, but the most important thing is it wasn't too windy, because when it's windy, it causes the drone to use up a lot more battery. So we were lucky. We were able to get out there, fly the drone a lot longer, cover twice as much more ground. I'd say 3 times more coverage than the first time we did. So we're super stoked. And so yesterday we had kind of like a watch party for some of the drone footage. And that's kind of what we're going to do today. We're going to watch some new exclusive drone footage, because there's just a lot to go over. So, C. Lee, thank you so much for your $5 euro. Thank you so much. That is awesome. Thank you. I hope I'm saying that right. I want to say C. Lee. C. Lai. C. Lai. So let's put this right there. Okay. Let's see, where should we start up? Rob McMullen. Chris, this is for your further searches. Thank you so much, Rob. Yes, we would be honored to go back out there again. And we also would love to go out there and help, like Aiden and even maybe Daniel Robinson, because I'm in Utah. Arizona is the bordering state. It's a little bit further to drive, but it's only I would say maybe a half a day, 3/4 of a day drive. So it wouldn't be that far to go out there and help. So maybe in the future. Thank you so much, Daisy. You're so awesome. Thank you guys. You guys are amazing. I'm going to start playing this drone footage, and I'll kind of play some of the interview that we played yesterday. But let's get into the drone footage here. So I'm going to skip it forward here. So real quick, just before I show you, let me just kind of show you guys where we're kind of searching here and why we were searching this area. So when we met up with the searchers the first time we went out at the watering hole, they had spoken about some kind of trailers that were out west, about 5 miles, that they thought were kind of suspicious. And they'd seen that there had been some air mattresses that were full, some sleeping bags in there. And I even talked to one of the locals, and she had never heard of this particular place, so she was kind of concerned about it. Like I said, the searchers, when they came across this trailer, said it kind of got the creeps from it. So we decided to do a couple flights. There's a lot of big washes this way as well, so we wanted to cover this area a little bit. So actually, I'm gonna play. I'm gonna use VLC because I like VLC. I can slow stuff down for you guys. Kind of get the drone up in the air here. So right now we're kind of parked on BLM land, and we're just kind of heading over. We just went over the first set of tracks. I don't know. I really don't know. Montello's not a big place. So for those that may be rewatching this live, if you do see anything suspicious, please point it out. We did this the last time we did our search. We kind of played the drone footage and encouraged anybody that if they spot anything that looks unusual, to put a timestamp and where on the footage and what you think you're looking at, and then I'll go back and look at the footage. And then last time what we did is I kind of went through all the footage that you guys pointed out, or the little spots, the timestamps, and then I kind of put those all into a montage, and then we kind of looked at each one to kind of point out and dissect what we're looking at. And so we did that last time, which is great. We kind of spotted some odd things, but I think we figured out most of what we were looking at. There was like a water heater that was kind of exploded that looked kind of odd. There was some railroad tracks that kind of looked weird. There was some bones, but they're not human bones. They were just, because there's a lot of bones out there. You got to remember, a lot of this used to be kind of farm cattle, and so you do have bones of animals out there. And the nice thing about this is it's in 4K, so we can zoom in, and if there's anything that you guys spot, I can kind of zoom in and not really lose any kind of quality, which is great. But as you can see here, here's the tracks, just to kind of give you an idea where we're looking here. So here's the tracks here, and let it spin here for a minute. This is Bald Eagle Mountain, kind of at the tip here. So we're looking south right now. And you've got west right here. Those trailers are over this direction here. And some people I do see in the chat, they wonder why. So obviously the pilot is my cousin Nick. Unfortunately he can only go so far down because you've got to keep line of sight with your drone. So obviously he can't go too low. So the further he goes out, he has to kind of keep up high. Because if he goes too low, it will lose signal, and obviously we could lose the drone, and we don't want to do that. It looks like Copper Horse is doing an amazing thing, handing out some memberships. Thank you so much, Copper Horse. You're so amazing. That is so sweet. So, now, I know a lot of people like to mention these tracks. A lot of these tracks, I guarantee you, are from the probably some kind of search party. But this wash, I would say, I think this wash in particular is somewhere between 20 and 30 feet tall. And for those that had seen the trailer and saw the tarp that we came across, I have that as well. We'll be looking at that here in a little bit. And I'll kind of describe what that was like, because that was really surreal to come across something like that. Thank you, Copper Horse. You're so awesome. Wow, that's truly amazing. So I am going to play a little bit of the interview that I did from yesterday for a little bit, and then I'll kind of talk. This is the interview the mother did with the East Idaho 2 days ago.
So these are Dylan Round's parents, who, of course, this is a story we've been covering almost a month now, which is hard to believe. Candace was here a few weeks ago. We wanted to do an update on any potential new developments and really get the word out there that Dylan is still missing. That's the whole purpose, that, you know, here's this 19-year-old kid whose birthday's coming up in August, and we need to find him. First of all, thank you both for coming here. I know you're probably exhausted, and every sort of emotion has gone through your mind over the past few weeks. Let's backtrack a little, though, and set up the situation for those people that are just tuning in or don't know what the story's about. Your son is Dylan Rounds. Tell me where he was when he disappeared.
Elton Burton owns those trailers.
Okay, so when we first heard about it, Justin and I, well, when we first knew something was wrong was Monday, May 30th. Justin and our...
Mark T, yeah, if you could email me and let me know, because I would love to clear up, you know, if this trailer is used for nefarious activities or if it's just something innocent. You know, I would definitely love to clear it up. So if you could email me and let me know any other information, because, you know, I don't like to speculate too much. I just know that these guys told us about this location, and so we just wanted to search it. You know, all we care about is finding Dylan. You know, we're not here to try to say, oh, this trailer was used for a meth lab or anything. You know, we just want to find Dylan. But we thought, you know, like I said, this has been pointed out by us, by friends of the family, because they were concerned about it. They know about it, and so it'd just be nice to know, you know, the story behind it. If you can, please let me know, Mark. That's awesome.
Our other daughter, Brooklyn, were coming back from Vegas, and I was at home, and we got a call from Dylan's friend JD saying nobody had heard from Dylan. So I got that call. I immediately called Brooklyn and Justin and said, have you guys heard from Dylan? And it was no. So the last time he was heard from was Saturday, May 28th at approximately 6:51 in the morning.
Yeah,
he talked to Grandma.
My email.
So we immediately knew
you could put my
something
email,
was wrong, and we all headed to Lucin at that time.
And Justin, would you talk to Dylan frequently?
Quite regularly, not every day, but I talk to him through.
Sorry. Thank you so much, Barb K, for your $5 super sticker. You guys are awesome. And I'll check my phone periodically if you guys send me a PayPal right now so I can check. Yeah, you guys are so awesome. Like I said, this will help us, and we'll go right back out there. I've got to kind of recuperate. I pulled my back going over that wash, so it was kind of tough on me. I've got to kind of heal, but if we can get right back out there, we'd be honored to.
Thursday on our way to Vegas, and he was talking about his tractors and what he was going to do that weekend, and then his service got bad, and then I didn't talk to him again.
So it was basically kind of like I am with my dad. Every couple days I'll text or call on the phone. It's not a regular daily thing, but it's abnormal the fact that Monday came around and nobody had heard from him.
Correct. Yep.
So you head to Lucin, which Lucin is a very remote part of Utah by the Nevada-Utah border. What did you find when you got there?
So when we got...
Okay, sorry to pause this. As you can see, there's a lot of washes. Like, you got this giant one here, and then you got like a little sister one right next to it. And so, and then this little mini one right here, I mean, there's just so many little crevices that you could easily just, dump something in. So, okay, so that's 6. Okay, so that's 16. That's 19. Okay. All right. So I'm going to continue playing. Think outside the box when searching for Dylan. Yeah, just saying. No, Mary Lee. I love thinking outside the box. I know what you're saying. With the drone, obviously we're just trying to cover ground, because you're in a vast desert. But I know what you're saying. But yeah, since we have the drone, not a lot of people have drones. So yeah, we're trying to, cover ground right now. But I know what you're saying, like shacks, mine shafts. Sure. It's not a bad point.
There, it was like nothing was out of place, nothing was suspicious. We figured Dylan put his grain truck in the shed like he told his grandma he was going to do, and took off walking to his camper and was out there with a broken leg or bit by a snake. It's a 5.5 mile stretch, so that's what we were thinking we were going to find, was a hospital trip and a quick heart attack for everybody, but bring him home and doctor him up and good to go. So about 90 minutes into the search is when they found Dylan's boots behind the dirt mound, and they took Justin and I out there, and we...
Okay, so I'm going to pause it, just show you guys where we're at now, just to kind of give you guys an idea. Like, okay, where are you guys at now? Just to kind of give you an idea. Not the approximate, but I'll just give you an idea of where we're at. So let me back out here real quick. So we're kind of searching this area here. Dylan's grain thing is here. We're kind of searching in this area here. So Dylan's grain shed would be kind of something. Actually, this way, I think, yeah. Because this is north. This is west. So the drone's kind of locked onto me, and he's trying to get the lock off. Because he can lock onto things, and it'll stay locked on. So he's trying to get the lock off on me. So, there we go. Okay.
We both instantly knew. We just didn't know the extent of what it was going to turn into, because we were following law enforcement and search and rescue leads, like their way of doing things. If they weren't panicked, if they weren't making a big deal out of it, why should we? We don't know. We've never been in this situation. So we find the boots.
And how far were the boots from his camp trailer?
About 300 yards.
300 yards?
Well, not from the camp trailer, from his grain truck.
Oh, from the grain truck, yes.
Okay, so you've got the camp trailer, you've got his pickup truck, the red pickup, and then you've got the grain truck.
Correct.
And then 300 yards from the grain truck behind a pile of dirt is the boots.
Correct.
And there's blood on the boots.
Well, so they have now confirmed that. We both seen the dark spot.
You saw a spot.
We weren't sure if it was hydraulic oil, grease, or...
Like I said, we were following law enforcement's lead. If they're not panicked, we're not going to panic. So, yeah, but they haven't confirmed it's human.
Okay, but there was,
Yeah.
And how much blood are we talking?
Like if you had a bloody nose and a drop.
Drip. Okay.
Drip.
So they weren't soaked in blood?
No.
But there's a little bit of blood on there. You find his boots, and Justin, when they find his boots, what goes through your mind at that point?
Thank you, Mark. I got your email. Thank you, buddy.
This is real, and then they tried talking to us. Well, maybe he bought some new boots and threw them out. And these boots right here are the exact same kind of boots they were, and these are a lot worse shape than those. So I knew something was not right.
So they were newer boots?
Well, yeah, a year old or so.
Okay, so they find the boots, and then the truck is parked there.
The grain truck.
Is Dylan gonna go on a walk without a? How is he gonna get anywhere without?
Well,
the
not
truck?
only that, but the boots were found in the opposite direction of if he would have been walking to his camper.
Yeah.
Were the boots near potential crops?
No.
I mean, seed. I
No.
mean,
They were by an old junk hole where they'd burn trash and stuff, kind of.
okay.
So there's even talk now that they're not even sure if it's blood. And I know the PI kind of talked a little bit more about that, but I think they're even saying now that there could be You know, it could be because it's dark. I'm assuming it's kind of more of a darker spot. You know, because blood can drip and look really dark. So it could be oil. I mean, it could be a multitude of things. But I'm assuming it's got to be in evidence. So if there is blood, hopefully the can get something off of it if it is blood.
So you're worried, you're saying this is real, something's not right here. And then what?
So that search and rescue left that night. They were out until after dark. So we all went to the camper, to where Dylan's camper and pickup was, and you know, we're looking through his camper. We're looking for anything, you know. Can't get in the pickup, can't find the keys. So Justin broke the back window out of it. And
To try to find
anything,
the guns.
And Box Elder, we did have a deputy out with us at that time and asked him about breaking out the back window, and it was basically, yeah, it's your pickup, you can do whatever you want to it. And then nothing in the pickup, nothing in the camper, nothing. I mean, like I said, it was like everything was left perfect, and Dylan was just gone.
Okay, thank you, Mark,
No
so
phone,
much. I really
no wallet.
appreciate that.
Correct.
I would love to
But
clear
he did
anything
make a call
up.
from that phone to Grandma
So
on the
thank you for your
Saturday
time.
morning.
Correct.
And was anything unusual about the call?
Just that it was raining and he had to get his grain truck in, so he protected his seed.
And they've been able to ping, from what I understand, that call came from the farm,
From the area, yeah.
from the area.
Yep.
Do we know where he went after the call?
That's where it goes blank.
But we do know the day before he was in Nevada.
We know for sure on the 26th, on Thursday the 26th, he was in Nevada. The 27th,
We know for sure because of hearsay.
yeah, exactly. We know for sure because of credit card transactions, but on Friday it's some say yes, some say no. The stories have changed. We do know with what they're doing now, they'll dig more into Dylan's phone, and they're doing that. So whether or not they've confirmed if he was there, but we do know.
I'm gonna pause it. Yes. Yeah. So on his farm there is a pressure washer because there is a water hole, and so to be able to have a pressure washer, to be able to use it, you need a water source because you're using water. So yes, he had one on his farm, and then from what the PI guy said, that there's another pressure washer in Montello. So, thank you so much, Darlene, for your $5 donation. Thank you guys so much. You guys are amazing, and we would love to get back out there as soon as we can.
The phone call to Grandma came from the.
And one more thing. If you guys are just tuning in, like I said, we are watching new footage, drone footage that I haven't shown yet. If you spot anything when you're rewatching this, please just put in the timestamp. If you spot something that looks out of the ordinary, just put a timestamp and kind of what you're looking at and where it is on the screen. And like I said, I'll go back over it, and then I just take everything that people point out, and then we kind of do a live show where I zoom in on those objects that might be out of place, and we kind of discuss, is there anything to them? And so I appreciate you guys doing that.
Farm area, so we know he was in that area.
So regardless of where he was Friday, he did make it back to the farm, or was
Correct.
still on the farm Saturday.
Yes.
And was okay based on the
Yes.
call. Seemed okay.
Yes.
Since
Thank
we
you.
last talked, the Box Elder Sheriffs has said this is now a criminal investigation.
Correct.
What does that mean to you all?
It's terrible. It's terrifying, but it's also got us the help we need.
Yeah. Finally, the FBI's got involved. It feels like something's going to happen now. With Box Elder, it didn't feel like anything was happening. I don't know what they were doing, but yeah, it's
Because it was considered a missing person.
Right.
Which is a different status.
Right.
that's why we discussed about getting into the media
Yeah.
and
Was to
letting
get help.
people know who Dylan was, because that's why we got into the media, and to get the FBI involved and to let people know who he was and that he wasn't the kid that just took off for a week.
Wow, Copper Horse, you are so amazing. Thank you so much, Copper Horse. You are so awesome. We got so many new members. That's awesome because I'm going to be putting out some member-only videos very soon. So that is so cool. Thank you guys so much. So see this little fence line right here? This is, so Dylan's grain shed would be kind of, I think more kind of right here. So we're just on the border of the property. So we're on BLM here, but this is, I think over here is private property. So, okay. And then after this video, I'll show you the video with the tarp, which was really crazy. I can't not tell you what it was like to come across something like that. So, but I'll explain it after.
To do dumb stuff.
I've told people in recent interviews that it would almost be comforting if we had that thought, like, hey, Dylan's mad at us, or Dylan doesn't want to farm anymore, or Dylan had a breakdown and we're going to find him, but we don't even have that.
And this kid, based on talking with you guys, going through Facebook, seeing his photos, it seems like his passion was that farm.
It was.
Farming, being outside. And as
Lord.
you mentioned last time, Candace, he wasn't into video games. I mean, he wasn't into partying. He wasn't into any of that stuff. So what's happened since we last talked? We spoke, you guys were going to do a big search out there the weekend or two ago. No hints, no clues?
No. We had, Elko came out and helped us organize that search, did the grid search. They assigned everybody areas. There was a few suspicious things they went and looked at that didn't turn up into anything. And then it was that Sunday that I was told the FBI had reached out, and that was all the information I'd gotten, was the FBI's reached out. And then by Wednesday, I think it was that Wednesday, we were in touch with an agent, and things finally started happening. So the 15th is when Box Elder came out. It was criminal, and that was after the FBI got involved, but they'd lost 17 days at that point with this.
Yeah, so FBI, what's good is FBI is now involved, which, sadly, they're very, it's 2-3 weeks later, but better later than ever. But, so we went out there Tuesday, we went out there Monday, broke down, and then had to come back, and we went out there Tuesday. And when we were coming up on the grain shed, we noticed that there was kind of a gate and stuff, and we were going to see if we could talk to a family member, see what was going on there. And we noticed that FBI was hauling something off, which I cannot say what I saw. And then another FBI guy kind of rolled up, and we spoke to him for just a short minute, just telling him what we were doing. And saying that, hey, we're going to be over in this direction, and then, we were over there, and he said that's fine as long as you're not, impeding on what we're doing. Clearly they're focused on, at least that day, they were focused on the grain shed and the area around it. So, which is great. And then it was kind of interesting because right after the FBI after the FBI kind of talked to us for a quick second and he left, the Box Elder County Sheriff's Office showed up like 2 minutes later. They must have called them and said, hey, we got some guys out here, just check on them. So they showed up right after the FBI guy left, and we spoke to the sheriff, or the two guys in the sheriff truck. And they were nice, obviously. They were just making sure we're okay. We explained what we were doing, that we're just out here to help. We got a drone. We can cover a lot of ground, as you can see. This is a big area. You couldn't have enough people out here searching for this poor kid. I mean, it's just, there's too much vast. It's just too big of a place to. They need all the help they can get. So that's what we're trying to do. And like I said, we couldn't do this without the support from you guys. So I really appreciate it. I lost a car in the process, but that doesn't deter us at all. We'll keep going back out there. So I just want to say thank you guys so much. Donations help. PayPal obviously helps a lot. Venmo, because YouTube does take a little portion of the super chats, but anything does help.
Same evidence they had 3 days into it. So, you know, they did take Dylan's campers.
Finally,
Finally,
when the FBI came,
when the
the day
FBI
the
came
FBI
in.
arrived, they took the campers.
What about his trucks?
It is.
And I reached out to Bonneville County, and they reached into ISP, and they have the truck,
The pickup.
The pickup.
the pickup, and then the tractor he was driving. I don't know if I've reached out to ISP and stuff to go check the ECM on that to just get an idea of when that tractor was running. I haven't heard anything about that yet. It's in Rupert.
By
That might
truck time.
give you a clue there.
Give an idea of when the tractor was actually running.
You think about something like this, and I'm sure it's gone through your mind. Was it an accident? Was there some sort of
Thank you.
accident? There's also the possibility of suicide. And I mean, it's out there. You look at all the options, there could be that, and then there's criminal,
Right.
homicide, or something nefarious. So, have all those situations gone through your mind?
Everything.
Everything.
Except
suicide.
The suicide
The
has
suicide
not.
just.
Kidnapping. He's in a building somewhere. I keep getting texts and calls. He's in a building in Montana. I mean, in Montello, and
Which is what you're hoping.
Suicide
Right.
had never crossed
No.
my mind. Not one
Boy,
time.
that'd be cool.
Never
I
any
don't
sign
know
of
how I'd
mental
feel about-
illness. Never.
No.
Seems like too big of a...
So
Too
that
generous,
leaves the
though,
accident or the
but-
criminal, which now that
Could
they're
use a
saying
new
it's
car, though.
criminal, I mean, what
The one
do
I
you
bought.
think happened?
I bought a Nissan Murano 2004. I bought it for $3,000. Then put $4,000 into it, and it still wouldn't pass emissions. And was gonna put like probably another 500 to 1,000 in it, and then went to go drive out to help search for this kid. The first time it drove fine. The second time we got more than halfway there and it broke down, and yeah, it's toast. We looked at it. It's toast, sadly.
Somebody did something. I mean, and
We kind of gotta
Thank you. It's
keep
a
some of
pleasure.
our what we think to ourselves. We gotta keep some of this because we know a little bit more about some of the stuff than we can't release everything. My main goal is to just find out who did what and make sure they get what they got coming to them.
Yeah,
law,
I don't know. FBI
whatever.
don't. That's
Yeah.
right, Thomas.
Let's-
I mean, the main goal is to find Dylan. Don't get me wrong. That's the first and only priority. And when somebody tells me he's in a shed or something, I wish that it was true, but I don't know if that's.
well, we haven't received any ransom or any.
Or no ransom. People wanted
No.
to help, and
Yeah, so it wouldn't make sense that somebody's just holding
It's
them
our
to hold
pleasure.
them. But I'm with Justin. I mean, I wish that was the case and we'd find him somewhere. And once again, trip to the hospital, some counseling and whatever, and bring him home.
Well, the fact his wallet's gone, and have his bank accounts been touched? So that if someone did have his wallet, they could, go use his cards or whatever.
Yeah, Subarus
Let's
are
clear
really
up
good.
Some
Yeah,
rumors.
it's
You
funny.
hate to do this because the last thing parents in this situation need is
Very
for people
reliable.
to speculate online and
Right.
call people names and do things like that. There is no GoFundMe,
Correct. Absolutely none.
so you're not raising.
Yeah, so that's a big thing is they keep having these scams come up saying GoFundMe for Dylan Rounds, and it's been very frustrating for the parents, obviously, because people are taking advantage of this, and it's terrible. I mean, it happens a lot in other cases too, but it's just tough, But so Thank you so much, Britt Ryers. I hope I said that right. I see in your full name for the PayPal $20. Thank you so much, Britt. That is awesome. Thank you. Okay, so like I said, if you're just tuning in, I just want to say this one more time. If you spot something in the replay, please put a timestamp in it in what you're looking at, where it's on the screen, so I can go back and zoom in and just double check it. So, all right. So now we check the other side of the road, and I cannot tell you what this was like. Going out and searching, because like I said, this is the second time doing this, but both times, but especially for the first time, when you go out there, it's one thing when you're covering a missing persons case. It's another when you actually go out there, your subconscious kicks in, and you know, I want to wish for the best, but you got to keep your expectations at the same time, and it's almost like you know that there's that possibility you could be walking across something, you know, bones, a body, what have you. So you get kind of a adrenaline rush, and it just stays. Sometimes it's like all day. It's just kind of a natural high. It's weird. It's really tough to explain. And anyway, so Nick takes off, and I'm sitting at the car. And so obviously the flight that we just saw was the other direction, which was north. Now this is south. And as you can see, there's a lot of debris. Just could be railroad ties. And so he's just kind of scanning everything. As you can see, this is the road that we're parked on here. So he gets going here. And immediately sees something. It's not this. Obviously, he's checking everything. Like I said, there's so much debris on this side. It's so weird. Like the one side, it was pretty clear. This side's got like tons of debris everywhere. And then he spots this. And I'm standing next to him, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, there's a tarp out there." I'm like, "Oh gosh." And he's like, "I can't tell if it's covering something." And so my heart's pounding. Like pounding really hard. And so obviously he's telling me that he's flying, checking this tarp out. It definitely looks suspicious. It's not too far from where we're at, so I know I can be able to walk out and check on it. And so I'll pause it here. Yeah, I'm going to go check whatever this is out. So I get my camera. Head out there on foot. So I'm like, oh my gosh, there's a tarp, and who knows what's under this tarp. So yeah, like I said, my adrenaline already been going, but then knowing that I might be uncovering something, I just can't tell you what that's like. And it's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling at all. Kind of had to stop and like breathe. I almost felt like I was having a panic attack, to be honest with you guys. If I was playing this, you could actually hear my breathing heavy, because I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm not even worried about what's out. Like, I'm not even worried about what's out there, to be honest with you. I'm more worried about what I could possibly find. So this was probably about, I don't know, 30 yards from the car. No, I got to check it because yeah, we know we have a, so real quick, anything that we've flown, it's we have a GPS. I mean, we could send it to the family and show every spot that we've flown. It's recorded into the phone, into Google Earth. So anyway, yeah. So like I said, my heart is pounding, and so as you can see, it looks like it's covering something up. I'm just like, holy shit. And of course, I had my gloves off. Usually, I have my gloves on. The one time I had my gloves off, so I'm like, you know what? I gotta get my gloves on, obviously. So I'm putting on my gloves right now. And just kind of pull on it. I don't know if that's I don't know, really a tarp, but I guess it kind of is a tarp. But luckily, there was nothing under it. Sorry for the big suspense and build-up, but I'm trying to give you a perspective on what it's like to be out there and you come across something like this. It's something that I'll never forget, because your mind, is thinking of every kind of possibility, and definitely thinking the worst. So it was definitely a great relief to know that there was nothing under there. But like I said, it just it's one thing to cover these cases, but this has been a real surreal experience going out there. Obviously it was just debris that got blown out there, but when you're actively searching for someone that's missing, you can't describe it. You just can't describe it. So here I'm trying to kind of go back to the car. I wanted to go search deeper, but I'm just like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I said, I was just kind of a nervous wreck right there, because it's just like, oof. But I did go back another way, just trying to jump over these bushes here, because they're all thorny bushes there. But it was so weird, like this, like I said, the one side that we flew over had like no debris. This side, like, for whatever reasons, got like all the debris and stuff. It must have had some kind of camp set up or something at some point, and it's all been just kind of torn down, and so must be what that's from. So I make it back to the road, tell Nick, hey, it's luckily there's nothing under there. So is this one? Okay. So anyway, I'm gonna alright, so we're gonna get going again. Let me continue the
money?
No.
You're not anything like that?
Mm-mm.
Dylan may have been in a horrible relationship with a man or a woman.
Yeah, not true.
Not true.
No basis, no evidence, just speculations and rumors once again.
What are the other things you want to clear up?
That we're working with law enforcement and law enforcement only. Whatever else is put out there, if it is not Justin or myself that is speaking, they are not on behalf of us, and they're not gathering. They can show clips of interviews, but it's not with us. So we're really trying to stay focused on the good media. The media is going to report Dylan's story truthfully and keep it out there so that we can find him. So all the other stuff's just hearsay. He also only has one Facebook page, and that's the Find Dylan Rounds, the Missing in America one. There's 6 or 7 of them now.
Yeah.
and they're all just speculation and robbing off of other stuff. So we're trying to really keep our
It's like a needle in an ocean, to be honest.
bases covered and the truth and the facts, and only the facts out there, because that's the only way we're going to find them and bring them home.
What can you say about the two men that were working with him on the farm?
So, you know, we all know it's been out there that Dylan and Dawn parted ways, but that's what it was. I mean, we weren't there. We don't know. I know the story Dylan told me.
Oh, yeah. And shout out to Jill. So Jill has been a member and a great supporter for me for a long time. And she actually went out there when I went out there. Unfortunately, once you get out there, there's no communication. But she went out there to help. So I want to shout out to Jill. And so show Jill some love in the chat. She went out there to help look as well. I haven't been able to have time to actually talk to her in person, but we've chatted a little bit, and she went out there to help look as well. So shout out to Jill for doing that. That's awesome.
About it was about hooking up his washing machine, but it's not like it was a knockdown, drag out, you know.
Bitter party.
Yeah. So, and once again, that's something that law enforcement has to decide, because we're not investigators and we're not the ones that can, you know, look into backgrounds and past other things to say, hey, we need to look at this. So, you know, they've been mentioned, names have been thrown out. Names have been thrown out by a lot of people who shouldn't have been throwing out names. So we are just clearing and clarifying, and we have no fact to point a finger. Either one of those two, we have no facts, and that's, like I said, that's what we have to stick with.
Do you know how far before Dylan vanished that they had this, that they separated?
It was like 6 weeks, 7 weeks.
So it was some time.
Yeah.
And as far as the other farm worker, were they on good terms?
So he just helped him off and on. It wasn't.
It wasn't like he was there full time?
Yeah.
No, he was just kind of when they needed help.
Yeah. So it's turned into like it was this huge farm that Dylan needed all this help running, and that wasn't the case. Dylan could do most all the work on his own. He needed some help mechanicking and like putting together main line. That's more than a one-person job. But other than that, you know, it's one pivot. Dylan could handle it.
So he was doing it most of the time. He was there by himself.
Correct.
Yeah.
And what about people that he may have had interactions with in Nevada or there in Lucin?
So in Lucin, there isn't anybody.
There's nobody.
No. It's
Those
like,
two
no
people.
bar,
Yeah,
no,
there's
there's no
no-
buildings, nothing
yeah,
like that.
Yeah, it's like the Osgood area, only no gas station. There's nothing out there.
Nothing.
And then as far as Montello, I mean, you're talking an itty bitty town. You're going to go into town for lunch and you're going to socialize with whoever's in that bar restaurant, because it's your only option. You know,
They're the gas station.
yeah, they're at the gas station. Doesn't matter who's there. You're going to talk to them because there's nowhere else to go. So, you know, it's hard to pinpoint and say, you know, who else could he have known in Montello? Well, whoever went in and ate lunch, and on the day he was in there eating
A
lunch.
guy in Montello was helping him dig his main line last fall, and his backhoe was out there, and he helped him fill it in and a few things. So, I mean, there was a guy in Montello that was doing.
Yeah, so, yeah, I know who you're talking about, Black Dove. Yeah, so, yeah, it's a tough situation. You get somebody that mentions the word meth, and then everybody's a meth head out there. And that's not the case, sadly. And she has a son that's, I believe, 18 or 19 out there. And so I can only imagine. And so, yeah, she's one of the people that I talk to often. And unfortunately, you know, one of these bigger interviews, somebody mentioned that, you know, people do meth out here, and then apparently everybody out there in Lucin's meth heads, but that's not the case. And so it's got her kind of scared. And so I've been trying to speak up for the people in Lucin and say, because like I said, I've spoken with them. First time we went out there, matter of fact, they contacted me before we even came out there, and they were so nice to us. And so it's tough for them, you know. And there's bad apples everywhere. So you can't just have one bad apple ruin everything else. Yeah, so yeah, Jill, I went more north, a more mountainous area called Grouse Creek. Not as interesting an area as Chris, but it's still eerie. Oh, I bet, yeah. That's awesome though. More people the better. More area, more ground that's been covered. That's awesome. So, all right. So here's the property. So here's where the grain truck. I'm going to zoom in here in just a second. So this is Tuesday. They're clearly doing a search grid here. FBI is obviously on the scene. We just wanted to get a little shot of the grain shed. And then it's pretty wild. You can actually see the amount of dirt where supposedly the boots were tossed. Because you can actually see it from Google Earth. And you'll see it here in just a second. If you saw the trailer, then you've seen it. So this is as you can see, it actually sticks up quite a bit. So there's the amount of dirt. It's 100 yards from the grain shed. And the boots were found. Yeah, thank you so much. Let's see. Oh. Just gonna play one last little thing. Let's see how long we've gone for. Okay, an hour. Yeah, there's one more thing I found interesting because so they have a new timeline, updated timeline, and I'll put this in the link as well. And kind of went over this on Gizla's channel as well from Grizzly True Crime, so shout out to her. If you didn't check out that show after this show, I would check that out because I was on her show, showing some exclusive footage on her channel. So they kind of go over, they updated the timeline. There's only a few things I wanted to mention. So there was a disagreement that takes place between Dylan and Dawn, a family friend who helps out on the farm at times. Dawn was questioning Dylan's decision to work on the washing machine before a pump, and the result was Dylan and Dawn mutually decided to part company. So what's interesting is Dawn actually, the people that I know that are out there, one of the locals, they've actually met Dawn. And they said that Dawn actually helped them watch some birds and stuff. And they said that he didn't seem like a bad guy. So that's not saying that he could have had something to do with Dylan's disappearance, but it sounds like he's not a short guy, if anybody's wondering. He's not a short dude. I think the mother said he was kind of like 5'8", 5'10". So, older guy. But, since Dylan had fired him, people thought that was motive. But sounds to me like Kurt and Troy are the ones to look at. So then we got the phone, the last time he was seen there, and the supposed bride by Chase, which was on the 25th. Then of course you got the 26th, where the bank card was used at the Saddle Sore Inn or Saddle Sore Bar and Grill. Then the phone call on the 28th at 6:51 a.m. They say at 3:41 that same day, the last cell phone data that came from Dylan's phone at or near his farm. So that's interesting. So the last time they got a ping from the phone was at 3:41 on that Saturday. And for those, since I've been out there a couple times, I figured out where that cell tower is at. That cell tower is right here, kind of towards the end of Bald Eagle Mountain. And obviously this is on the Utah side. This is Lucin here. So that makes the 15-mile radius this instead of this one here. This is the previous one a lot of people have been using. Another misconception, a lot of people think that where he keeps his grain truck is where the farm is at. That's incorrect. He has his camper, his truck, and his farm is here. Obviously, this picture's taken from 2019. You see the water hole, but his farm is here. I still saw another YouTuber yesterday say that his farm was here, but that's not correct. But I've made that mistake too, so it's not a big deal. It is confusing. Chase. So then obviously Sunday comes around. They don't hear from him. They come out Monday. Overview shot of the grain shed. So here's that mound of dirt. Let's see. There we go. Perfect. So yeah, you can actually see this mound of dirt even from Google Earth, which is kind of wild. So as you can see, it's here, and then obviously we just showed you. So that thing sticks out. So I just thought I'd show you guys that because we did want to fly the drone over. Obviously, we wanted to cover this kind of area here, but obviously they have an active investigation going on in this area, so we didn't want to impede on that. So we went to other places. There's tons of places to search. Let's see, Tuesday. Another thing that I thought was interesting with this. Oh, so for those that have seen that Diesel Brothers video, and where he's flying through the wash, and you kind of have the mother talking, and they're following this this track, and the mother thinks, oh, this could have been from Dylan's truck, and they thought, oh, they noticed it fishtailing and stuff from the tracks. Well, apparently from this update, it says this has later been determined that it was from a volunteer's truck who had been searching for Dylan. So thought that was interesting because that's the first time I've heard that. So, because yeah, we were kind of curious to know where that that particular wash was. So, yeah, then just that the blood on the boots. Some people, there's been a lot of talk that it may not be blood, it could be oil, it could be a couple other things. Here's clearly the water hole. So here's that little pond that was built. Clearly they drained it looking for Dylan. And they've now hauled away his campers. So both Dylan's campers were taken into custody for the investigation. So that's really nice. It looks like they're getting a lot of stuff done. Better late than never. So that's great. And I still got, I think, a little bit more footage that hasn't been seen, but I'm kind of tired. I've already done, I was on Gizla's channel, and shout out to her. She helped us get out there again. Let me check my phone real quick, just in case I need to. Okay. So, like I said, we'd love to get back out there again. Any donations help us. Everything that gets sent to me goes right back into this channel, one way or another. That's all I can say. So shout out to Copper Horse for all the donations and all the gifted memberships. That's amazing. That's so cool. one more time, if you're replaying this, if you spot something in that flight path, please timestamp it, what you saw, and we will do another kind of like watch party where I'll take all that stuff, I'll zoom in, and then we kind of slow it down and check out and see what, what you guys kind of pointed out. So, if you guys have any questions, I guess I'll stay on for just a minute if you have any questions here. That's awesome. 40 new memberships. That's amazing. So, yeah, we're going to also have some membership-only videos coming out. I've already did one the other day. I'm going to do 2 more probably tomorrow. I'm going to take tomorrow off and focus on memberships and some merchandise. It's been a while, so oh yeah, it's my pleasure. Like I said, it's not everybody who's got a drone, so, and we covered a lot more ground than we did the first time, and every time we go out there we kind of get just a better idea of kind of what we're working with, and people talk to us, email me about certain stories, and so, like I said, all we care about is looking for finding Dylan. So, I don't think it was a murder robbery. I don't, because he had money, he had a check apparently. I know his wallet's missing, but they said none of his accounts. His account's fine, so nobody's tried to take money out of his account. So I don't think so. I do think it's definitely foul play for sure. But keep it real. New to your channel, I love it. Thank you. Thank you, Keep It Real. And thank you, Gizla, for staying up. Oh, it's probably super late where she's at. Poor thing. Amazing supporter of the channel. Thank you, Chris and Nick, for taking the time. Oh, oops. I'm going so fast. For taking time to go out there and help search for Dylan. I know the family appreciates any and all help they can get. Keep up the great work, guys. Thank you so much, Melissa McLeod. Yes. And if any family members are watching, my door is always open. Come on the channel. Even when I'm live, I can take calls. I don't even need to set up, anything beforehand. So, awesome, Mia Moore, Michelle. Okay, cool. And what's in the pile of dirt? Apparently they were using it to it was almost like a burn pile. Then I guess it just kind of built up to like a dirt pile. Because you get wind blowing in the dust and everything. So it's probably like a dirt, maybe almost like a fire pit or something where they throw junk. And then it just kind of, dirt's kind of blown on top of it. So now it just kind of looks like a dirt mound. That's probably what happened. Why was Chase 200 miles away right after he needed a lift walking in the desert? Makes no sense. Yeah, I don't know how he got out there, but I don't know if that was I don't think that was the same day though. He got a lift on Wednesday. So that was Wednesday, and and Tuesday, let's see, started doing must be in 2 days. Montello, no. Yeah, it was 2 different days, if I understand correctly. So he must have gotten a ride somewhere. Oh, Saturday, here it is. So yeah, much later. Well, not much later, but. So yeah, he was arrested in Davis County, Utah on Saturday. And he was picked up on a Wednesday? So yeah, we're talking a whole week difference, Bungie. Oh, is there still membership? So I'm not sure. There might be. If there's still memberships, you just click the box at the top. Yeah. Anybody who doesn't have a membership, I guess there's still a few more at the top. You just click the little box and you get a free membership. That's so awesome. So crop was planted at Grandpa's farm. The crop was just getting planted and seeding. Yeah, it doesn't sound like a lot, Rochelle. Still wonder how many friends Dylan had who were his age. Yeah, it sounds just like that one guy, JD. And I'm not sure if it even says what age JD is. But I'll link this this updated timeline in the video description for you guys. So. Does Dylan have favorite places he go to? Sounds like he went to the bar that Saddle Sore. I mean, other than his favorite place was farm. I mean, the guy was, even though he's 19 years old, he's ahead of his years. He's kind of like a adult in a kid's body. He just wanted to work. So. And then shout out to Michelle After Dark. Apparently she shouted me out on her channel, so shout out to her. So that's really cool. Oh, is that right? So JD is possibly in his 30s based on photos I saw, not 100% sure. Not 19. Okay, cool. Interesting. So... yeah, I gotta get a new donation dance going. The one that I had, unfortunately, is copyrighted right now, so I have to get a new donation dance. Obviously, plus I didn't do pet time. We'll do pet time the next live. I just figure since we're playing the footage and stuff, we don't do pet time, but we'll go back to doing that. How much do we know about the Cowboy Bar? Other than the Wadsworth brothers own it. I've heard conflicting reports. It could be one brother owns one, the other brother owns the other. The PI made it sound like the brothers own both bars. So either way. But yeah, we haven't really heard much about that. So. Alright guys, I love you guys so much. I think I'm going to call it. I got to rest up, heal up my back. My back is doing better for those that have been asking about it. Yes, my back is doing better. Still needs to heal, but a lot better. I've been icing it, which I should have been doing that a lot sooner. It seems like the ice has been helping. So let me check my phone one more time just in case anybody sent some PayPal. Thank you guys so much for the donations. Thank you, mods, for all the hard work you guys do. You guys are amazing. Member videos are coming out tomorrow, plus a few other things, merchandise. And shout out to all the new members. You guys are amazing. So, we have the best community. You guys are so awesome here. It makes it so easy to chat with you guys, so thank you guys so much. So with that said, I love you guys. Have a wonderful night.